This is a teaching for women, for Christian women, or just believing women. I'm going to talk about the parable of the fig tree, which is one of the most important parables that you will never hear in the apostate Christian church or Torah movement. You don't hear anybody defining what it is because the whole world is deceived besides the very elect. The next most important parable is the parable of the seed sower. Read Mark chapter 4 because it says that you're not converted unless you know that parable. And it's talking about the seed that makes it, endures until the end, and bears much fruit. But that's a whole nother teaching for a whole nother video. So I'm going to start in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. But of the times and seasons, brethren, you have no need that I write on to you. Okay, times and seasons, because it's a springtime event. And the ones who are watching, well, I'll continue reading. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so comes as a thief in the night. Okay, same thing that the Messiah said in Mark 13. If you're not watching, he's going to come upon you like a thief in the night. So I'm going to start... I'm going to read the Mark 13 account of the parable of the fig tree. You can also read it in Matthew 24, starting at verse 32, that account, because in Matthew 24 it also talks about the fifth seal and the sixth seal. Now learn the parable of the fig tree. When her branch is yet tender and puts forth her leaves, you know that summer is near. Okay, what's before the summer? Spring. So you in like manner, when you shall see these things come to pass, know that it is nigh, even at the doors. Verily I say unto you, that this generation shall not pass till all these things be done. Okay, Samuel to Malachi, they all likewise foretold of this generation, talking about the end times generation of God's wrath. Anybody telling you that this is from only to the disciples when the Messiah was walking the earth, it's not for us. They're liars and there's no truth in them. Verily I say unto you that this generation shall not pass. Okay, I just read that. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. But of that day and that hour knows no man, no, not the angels which are in heaven, neither the Son, but the Father. Trinity debunker. Take ye heed and watch and pray, for you know not when the time is. For the Son of Man is as a man taking a far journey, who left his house and gave authority to his servants, and to every man his work, and commanded the porter to watch. Watch you therefore, for you know not when the master of the house comes, at evening, or at midnight, or at the cock crowing, or in the morning, lest coming suddenly he find you sleeping. And what I say unto you, I say unto all, watch. Okay, the watchman calling, what the Messiah is talking about, is in Ezekiel 2, 3, and 33. And that's to warn people of their iniquity, so that they have a chance to repent, and so that they don't die in their sins, and so that your hands are not full of blood. That's what it means to watch, and nobody's watching, and that's why nobody knows the parable of the fig tree. Okay, so now we're going to we'll go to Revelation chapter 6. And I'll start in verse 12. And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal. Sixth seal is the start of great tribulation. This is what the Messiah is talking about, the springtime event. And lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. And the stars of heaven fell onto the earth, even as a fig tree casts her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their place. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sits on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? Like, men's hearts will fail them for the fear of what's coming upon this world when they realize that sixth seal cracked open, and those stars falling is Satan getting cast down with his angels, which is in Revelation chapter 12. I'll start in verse 1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And this actually happened September 23rd, 2017. And she, being birthed with child, cried, travailing in birth, in pain to be delivered. And from this time frame, if you add 10 years, that's the time of Jacob's trouble. Okay, so 10 years from 2017 is 2027. Okay, so, and it ties into 2 Peter 3, when we're told to be mindful of what the prophets said, and then we are told that the day with the Lord is as 1,000 years, and not to be ignorant of this mystery, and it's quoting Hosea chapter 6. So that means that the Lord tarries for 2 days, which is 2,000 years. So if he died in 27 up to what, I don't know, 33 AD, 2,000 years from that, it's nigh at the doors. And these things are happening. Many coming in his name, saying he is he. Well, that's the 45,000 different Christian denominations. The fullness of the Gentiles, the great falling away. Check. The man of sin being revealed. Check. The man of sin. I just made a video about that the other day. That's the fake imposter Messiah in the Christian church. Jesus. The Messiah's name is Yeshua. And Yeshua is going to come upon the apostate Christian church as a thief in the night. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his heads. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. Okay, his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven. That's talking about Satan and his angels. And she brought forth a man-child, who was to rule all nations with the rod of iron. And her child was caught up onto the throne, and was caught up unto God and to his throne. Okay, this man-child is the 144,000. Read Revelation 21:17. The measure of a man is 144 cubits of the likeness of a man. That's what it's talking about, which is New Jerusalem, which is, okay, I'll just leave it there. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she has a place prepared of God, and that they should feed her there 1,260 days. And that's talking about the second Exodus, the woman going into the wilderness. You can read this in Jeremiah 23, Hosea chapter 2, Jeremiah 16. It's in Matthew 24 as well. And there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not, neither was there placed down any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceives the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Okay, the devil gets cast down, and we know when, springtime event. But if you go to Isaiah chapter 28, it tells you where. I'm gonna have to make a part 2 because I'm running out of time. So I'll go to Isaiah 28.